Yeah, somehow I think I'm not riding today.
Alright, welcome back everyone to another episode of Darwin Mountain Bike Life. So it is absolutely pouring rain outside, so what I thought was I will start making a few more of these videos. So what I've got here is the typical things that I take with me on a bike ride. So let's start with the easiest first. So I've got the 1 litre water bottle. It's great, love it. It's really good. So I use this mostly during dry season. I try and just use this as much as I can during wet season. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out for me, and you know, we need a bit more water. So then I upgrade to, you know, this 2 litre Caribbean backpack that I can actually fit a few extra things in as well. So if I'm going out for a slightly longer ride, I will take this. But I do personally prefer riding with a water bottle. I will never buy another bike again that doesn't have mounts for a water bottle cage. So I take this one. So some other things that I take along for the ride. Sometimes I'll throw on a tube. Look, in all honesty, I have not really had a need before to have a tube, but you know, I will say that it is good practice to take a tube with you, especially if you're going to places where not many other riders are, or you know, if it's a while back to the car, you know, this can definitely get you out of trouble if you get a sidewall slash. Needless to say, I'm running tubeless, so yeah. So another thing that I carry as well is this bad boy here, some tyre plugs. So got that, got some extra plugs here. So all you do is just take one of those slugs out, put it in, and you can actually twist it in, put it this way, and then use that to shank your tyre to try and block the hole. Give it a bit of a spin, wait for it to seal up, chuck some extra air back in it, and away you go. So let's see if I can get this all back together, because yeah. All right. Okay. Yep, so I'll take one of those. Some other things that I take with me as well, seeing as, you know, I do a lot of filming and everything, I take a spare battery case, spare battery for the GoPro. You know, they do last fairly long. I don't spend heaps of time shooting videos, as you can probably tell. And what I do to keep that nice and dry is I put it inside a Ziploc bag, which, when I'm carrying my water bottle, I take this with me, which is just a small bum bag. You know, I can stash a bit of money in there, or you know, I can just fit a few bits and pieces. So that gets stashed in there, and if it's a dry day, I can just put my phone inside there like that. Or if it starts to, you know, if there's a bit of a risk of rain, I can actually fit my phone inside that as well. Lock it up, zip lock it up, nice and neat. Ish, definitely on the ish. You get the idea. So it goes inside there, all inside there. I can throw my keys inside there as well. This goes in. This pretty much lives in here. Nearly never comes out. And you know, that bum bag, along with the water bottle, the tube as well, all works really well. Works very well for me. So the next thing I always take on a ride is this little beauty here. Now this is a Garmin 130 Edge. I actually got it with the heart rate monitor as well, which I'll just try and pull out here for you. Yeah, so this is the heart rate monitor that comes with it. Chest strap goes along there, and then, you know, buckles up to the side. I wear that, really good for counting calories. Apparently these things are pretty good at counting calories. They're, you know, plus or minus 100 calories. So, you know, a good ride around the pine forest here, you know, you burn like 1300 calories. Well, I do at least anyway. And that's all measured off your speed, distance, heart rate, peaks, troughs, all that sort of stuff. So I've absolutely loved having this thing. I was actually against having heart rate monitors for quite a while, and then I wanted something, oh yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind, you know, keeping an eye on my heart rate to try and keep it in a range where I could go further for longer. And this has been, you know, really good for that. Yeah, just, you know, with that, clicks on your bike. Before you do that, you just wrap it around the bar, wrap it around the bars, so it's like that. Click it onto your bike, away you go, happy days. So on this I have, let's start it up and find out. Yeah, so there's a connection. So, so what I have is the speed, distance, heart rate, the time of day, just, you know, in case I've got somewhere to be, and the calories. You can also scroll through, if you've got your phone on you, you can actually have the weather, calls, texts, or it'll notify you when there's calls and texts, because this is just a smaller version. Yeah, and it's really good. So yeah, highly recommend that, you know, if you've got the cash and you want to do your riding a bit better, get one of these. All right, so other things that I carry on my ride are these, the good old fashioned zip tie. Now, these are brand new ones, but they will be going into my crank arms, actually. I found that the crank arms are a really good place to store them. So that cavity on the inside, all you do is just fold these up and then push them inside that crank. And I found that, you know, majority of the time they stay pretty secure in there. You know, I've had my car traveling on the back, so, you know, a bit of vibration and everything like that. They've been really good, and, you know, if you know, they're a really handy thing to have. I do use them every now and then, you know, like I've seen people, you know, sort out broken derailleurs. You know, if, you know, one of the other cable ties snaps on your bike that's holding cables in place. They're cable ties, you can use them for anything, so just go out, get them. I prefer these little ones because, you know, majority of the time they'll actually go around stuff, even with this length. And if you need, and if it's not long enough, put two together, you know, put them together like that, and then all of a sudden you've got one that's that long. So they work a treat. So highly recommend anyone riding mountain bikes, get them, keep them on you, they're wonderful. All right, so last but not least, this thing. Now this has been absolutely brilliant for me. So it's the OneUp EDC. So this is the 100, and this is the multi-tool bike pump. So this is the 100cc version. I think they come in like a 60 or 70cc version as well, depending what sort of riding you're doing and what sort of things that you would like to do. Highly recommend getting one of these, either the 100 or the 60 or 70, whatever it is. So we'll start with the basics. First things first. No, actually, yeah, let's start with the basics. It's got this rubber grommet here just to help keep out mud and dust and everything. Little dust cap there as well. So these only work for French valves. So the Presta valves only. So all you do, and away you go, happy days. So that's how that one works. Now the other little added bonus is if you wanted to carry a CO2 cartridge, which I try to avoid using those CO2 things because apparently they can muck around with your tubeless sealants and everything like that. So I try to not use them unless I desperately have to. So I could probably actually throw one in my little bum bag there, or, you know, my bigger bag just there, if I was going out for a ride, just in case. So, but one cool thing that these things have, and I'll try and get it off, is that. So you can actually connect a CO2 canister to the back of it, give your tyres a quick blap. You know, you could probably throw the rest of it in your backpack or something like that. But yeah, that's actually, you know, a cool little system. So it's not just a hand pump, you've actually got a little CO2 pump there as well. Now there's other places where you can actually store your CO2 canisters in this as well, which I'll get to in a minute. So that's in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'll just put this all back together because the real hidden gems are coming. So, yep, and that goes back together. Done. Okay, so on to the very next thing with this. So what you've got is this bad boy. Now, This has been absolutely great. It gets you out of trouble on the trails, and I've found it's enough tools to, you know, get you out of trouble with most situations. So you've got a little multi-tool here. You know, you've got a whole bunch of Allen keys there. You've got a couple more. Oh, you've got a couple more there. You've got a star-fangled nut, and I believe that last one is meant to be a screwdriver of some sort. So that fits into there. Now, there's also a chain breaker and everything in here as well. So what you've got to do in order to deploy that, although I do need to, you know, actually spring and get like a home workshop one eventually at some point. So, all right. Oh gosh. Might need to do a bit of work on this one. It's getting a little bit stiff. So, what we do is make sure you got the right one first. That usually helps. Yeah, it must be this one. Oh, just knocking the camera around everywhere. All right, so what you do, undo this right here, and then what you've got right there is you've got a little tie lever. So I haven't had to use it yet, but you know, I'd assume that actually get you out of trouble. Now, other thing you've got here is you now have a chain breaker. So the chain breaker is pretty cool. Now what I found out the other week when I was using it, because I was doing one of the changes on my bike chain. I'm just going to realign this camera a bit. Yeah, I was doing a relube on one of my bike chains. It was a brand new chain, so I'm only running a 40 tooth rear cassette with a 32 front. So yeah, it was pretty epic. So yeah, I needed to take a link out. So what you do is once you've got it all together, you just put that bolt back in. Now that's a chain ring bolt, so you know you can actually carry a spare one as well. It hasn't got the back to it though, but I'm sure if you tried, you could actually stash one somewhere. All right, so there, and now you've got a little chain breaker. So you can put your chain in. Oh, I'd probably spin it up the other way, I reckon. All right. All right, so you got your chain breaker. All you have to do is put your chain in there, and then you can use this tool again, which is really sticky. I'm going to take this part afterwards and just give it a little bit of a re-grease. You know, probably just needs a little bit of love. It has had a pretty hard life on my bike. I've had it for about a year. It's been great. And then you use that normal chain breaker. Pin goes out, chain goes in, pin goes in. Pull the pin out, bang, your chain's done. All right. So, and the best thing is, so this just all goes back together really nice. So I'm just going to put it like, yeah, there we go. I'm going to put this all back together like, yeah. Yeah. All right. And then this goes back into place. And it's got a little clicky doogalaki thingy there. Yep, so that's all there. Now you see there's a little notch there. You've got to make sure that lines up and goes in there. Boom, done. Now, as for carrying spares, so underneath that you can actually carry some quick links. They slot in there and they stick out through those two little holes there, so that's pretty good. But what I do is I have this down here. Now, hold on, just before I move on. Now, see that thread there? You can actually fit a little canister on there, a little CO2 canister, which means you pop it back in there and there's your hidden CO2 canister. So, you know, if you need a quick shot, you just belt it out, take that off, give it a quick shot and everything like that. You can take the canister off, put it back on there if it's all used up, put it off and away you go. So, but I've chosen to keep this one here. Now this came with the bike. It's, I found it really good. What I've gotten here is a whole bunch of little tiny spares. Now, even though I run, you know, all French valves and everything like that, you know, if this pump ever did fail, which I don't see it happening anytime soon, other people have pumps that don't have French valves. Some people are still running the Schrader valves. So what I've got here is just a little adapter, pressed to the Schrader. So I've got that in there. I've got the, I've got a little tool for pulling out the, what are these things called? Valves, that's right. Yep, so I've got a couple of spare valves in here. So like, it's really annoying. Sometimes they gunk up and fail and this and that and everything. So I've just found it much easier just to make sure I've got a couple of spares with me and they're all good to go. So that's what I've got that for. Now, a quick link. I've only got a quick link. I used to carry a couple of quick links in here. Actually, I've probably got another one sitting around somewhere that I can throw in there as well. But you know, if you're having such a bad day that you need to carry 2 spare quick links with you, you just weren't meant to go riding that day. So I've got a spare 11-speed quick link because I'm running 11-speed on my bike. This is a Shimano one. I'm running the Marin San Quentin 3. It's the older version, the 2020. Now, the other thing that I've conjured up as well is these. They're not patches. What they actually are is they're from an old tyre. It's a sidewall. So one thing that can happen if you're running tubeless is you might get a slash in your tyre, and even using the plugs that I showed you before, they just won't work with you know, plugging up the hole with the tubeless setup and the sealant and everything. So those are the times when you have to resort to putting a tube in. You got no choice. You need to get out of Dodge, everything like that. So, but if you've got a big slash in your sidewall, well, your tube might be poking out. So that's why I got these things. So the idea is, I haven't tested this theory. So if you know more about this, just drop a comment down below. You know, and let me know, and it'll let other people know I'm no expert, but you know, this is just a theory that I've got, and it's an idea that I have. I'm pretty sure it's probably been done before. So yeah, I just pop this on the inside of the slash tire, pop the tube in, and then what that does is that blocks up the tire where the slash is, and stops the tube from protruding. And possibly going flat again, and then you're just back at square one. So got a couple of those in there, yeah, and everything else. So yeah, this is the sort of stuff that I take with me on my general ride. Now the best thing is this, again with the bottle cage mounts, this you're given a mount that uses it, that enables you to mount it to your bottle cage. It's absolutely great, absolutely love it. So all I do is I just have all that stuff in here, screw that back on, that pops back in there, pops back on the bike, and as well as the water bowl, and then all of a sudden I've just got that set up sitting off the side of the bike. Yeah, you know, like there's an extra kilo and a bit of weight, but you know, I'd rather have the extra weight on the bike rather than on me. All right. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed that one. It's still pretty wet outside. It is still pretty windy, and that's the main thing that I worry about during our tropical wet seasons, the high winds, because trees, high winds, not good. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Help us grow the channel by giving it a share. And remember, we've got a competition on. As soon as we reach 250 subscribers, you get to win we'll be giving away some Reckless Race Concepts gear. So you need to be on board to enjoying that. Other things as well, we've got some other exciting things happening. If it has happened by the time this video comes out, that's great. If it hasn't, make sure you stay tuned. If you did like what you saw, you'll probably like our Instagram and our Facebook. So the links for that are down in the description below. Give them a shot. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.